Alright, everyone, welcome back. So, it's that time again. The Winter Classic is almost upon us. It is in 2 days, right around now, about 48 hours from now, the Winter Classic will be taking place. So, I thought it'd be cool to preview the game as we did, I think, last year or 2 years ago. I didn't cover last year's Winter Classic, like, I didn't review on it because I wasn't home which I thought was pretty stupid how we had practice on the second, but regardless, anyways. So moving on now. This is the 15th Winter Classic all time when you look at the overall Winter Classic stats. Last year's one, as I mentioned, was between the Boston Bruins and the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Bruins ended up winning it by a score of 2-1. So obviously Bruins got the win there. This year, though, it's against two Western Conference teams who both teams actually need these 2 points when you look at the overall standings as of right now. So you start out with Vegas. Vegas is 22-10-5 for 49 points. They have 127 goals for and 103 goals against. They are tied for first in the Pacific Division. So as I mentioned, it's an important game for both teams. Both teams need the 2 points, and Vegas definitely does need these 2 points. I realize that the lighting looks different, but I changed it. We're good. Vegas needs these 2 points really badly because when you look at the overall standings in the Pacific, they don't need it as bad as Seattle, but when you look at the overall standings in the Pacific, Vegas is tied with Vancouver for first place in that division. And if Vegas wants to reclaim their first overall in that spot, they're going to want to get these 2 points to get ahead of Vancouver and try and play from that way. Obviously, prior to the Winter Classic, Vegas has been struggling a little bit. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games, so they're going through that little bit of a struggle. LA is only 5 points behind them, I believe, so you don't want to start losing ground in this division. And for Seattle, it's also pretty important too that they start winning and they get these 2 points as well, because Seattle is 14-9 for 37 points. They have 99 goals for 114 goals against, and they are 4th in the Pacific Division and 2 points outside of that second wildcard spot. Now, as I mentioned, Seattle barely is above 500. They won last night against Philadelphia, which put them at 14-9. So they're just barely above NHL 500 there. But they have a lot of overtime points really helping them out here and keeping them close in this race for the wild cards. So Seattle, they really need these 2 points. It's really important they do. And they've been on a push lately. I believe they won about 5 straight. So they have been doing very solid, playing some very good hockey lately. So definitely the odds probably are in Seattle's favor to maybe win this game. When you look at the overall stat line, you look at the top scorers for each team. You got Vegas' Jack Eichel. Eichel has 37 games played, 16 goals, 24 assists, 40 points. Eichel seems even better than last season. Last year he barely got 60 points. So this year it looks like he's gonna pass that record and try and go for 100 again. He looks way more like himself this year. Not that he didn't last year, but he looks way more like himself in this current season. And then on the other end, you got Vince Dunn for Seattle. Dunn has played really well. 37 games played, 6 goals, 24 assists for 30 points. Dunn as well. He's been really the MVP of Seattle. He got signed to a pretty good contract over the offseason. But overall, Dunn's been playing well, and definitely he's a guy to watch out for on that blue line. Because every now and then, he will score a goal, but he's always making passes and making good assists and being a solid offensive and defensive defenseman as well. So definitely a guy to look out for there. Other scorers on the Vegas Golden Knights, you got Mark Stone. Stone has 37 games played, 12 goals, 25 assists for 37 points. Stone, obviously one of my favorites. I really enjoyed him in last year's Cup run. The captain of this team, still a guy to watch out for. William Karlsson, still the dangerous goal scorer that we know and love. 37 games played, 15 goals, 17 assists for 32 points. Karlsson still keeping up there in the race. Playing a very solid game so far this season, and I expect that to continue for him because he's still the great offensive player that we know him to be. Jonathan Marchessault then, 37 games played, 17 goals, 10 assists for 27 points. Marchessault playing that electric style that we know he will. He's been playing some great hockey lately, and I expect for that to continue with him too. And then finally, Ivan Barbashev up next there then, with 37 games played, 9 goals, 10 assists, 19 points. Barbashev, great acquisition at last year's trade deadline. They decided to keep him around, and now he's here to stay and probably will be another threat to watch out for Vegas, for Seattle there too. But that's not the only 5 guys. I think overall this whole team is playing really solid right now. You're getting goals from guys like Michael Amadio, Keegan Colasar. You're getting goals from guys who aren't really well-known players. So definitely you want to watch out for all 4 lines there on Vegas's team. But the same with Seattle too. Seattle has a really solid depth. Even though their skill level, when you look at the overall skill and talent, not all of it's there, but still, they're playing really well. Had to pause again. I apologize for that. The alarm was going off. Of course it was. But anyways, getting into the scores here. Oliver Bjorkstrand of the Seattle Kraken is first up. With 37 games played, 11 goals, 18 assists, 29 points. He had 2 assists last night in their 2-1 win against the Flyers. They can play really well. They can play a trap style of game where if you leave them out too lightly, then they're definitely going to bite you in the butt because they're a team that can roll all 4 lines, and all 4 lines can be pretty effective. We've seen that in previous seasons before. Jared McCann then up next, 36 games played, 14 goals, 8 assists, 22 points. McCann's played really well lately, scoring some goals for Seattle for sure. Eli Tolvanen in the top 10 in scoring. 37 games played, 9 goals, 12 assists, 21 points. Tolvanen, a great waiver pickup a few seasons back, has been very effective for this Kraken team still midway through. And then Matty Benier, 37 games played, 5 goals, 13 assists, 18 points. Obviously this year, not all of it is there for Beniers currently, but still, he's a very solid, effective player that you don't want to miss out there on the ice for the Seattle Kraken. So yeah, as I said, both teams can roll all 4 lines. Both teams can play that style, and I think Seattle looks very hungry right now, and I think that's why they might have the advantage over Vegas in this game because of that. They're riding a hot streak. They have a few days to prepare. So does Vegas, but, obviously Seattle is a team that is going to be hungry. They want to get back in that wild card race, and winning this game could very well put them back in the wild card spot. So we'll find out there after the game, obviously. And then your goalies that are facing off against each other, you got Logan Thompson for Vegas, 11, 6, and 3, a 2.80 goals against average, and a .902 save percentage. Obviously, as well there too is Aiden Hill. I don't believe he's going to be ready though. For the Winter Classic, he is currently injured, so I don't believe that Hill will be ready. So it's probably going to be Thompson and net for the Vegas Golden Knights to face off against Seattle. And then you got Joey Dackert here too, who's been a pretty pleasant surprise. Played really well last night against Philadelphia. He's 8, 5, and 8 with a 2.46 goals against average and a .915 save percentage. With the absence of Grubauer, he's really taken a chance to heat up and has done very solid with Seattle lately. So yeah, that is my overall preview for the 2024 Winter Classic. Should be a very fun game. I will be making a game review once the game is completed. So anyways, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. Hit that subscribe button down below. I would greatly appreciate it. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.